So how long do I need to wait until marketing actually works for my restaurant? This is a question I get very often. Let's unpack that. The truth is, if somebody tells you they're going to be able to give you results within 4 weeks, they're probably giving you a load of BS. At this point, they're probably selling you hope and not actual strategy. And the last thing you need is hopium. You need structure. Today, I'm breaking down realistic timelines for restaurant marketing. What works fast, what compounds, and why most owners quit right before results show up. Let's talk about why restaurant owners tend to get frustrated when it comes to marketing. Most restaurants do marketing, but they actually don't understand marketing timelines. They expect one channel to do absolutely everything, and then they pull the plug right before results come in or right before momentum starts to build. One key thing to understand here is that marketing doesn't really fail, expectations do. It's important to have transparent and candid conversations with restaurant operators if you happen to be the marketer. Many restaurant owners and operators want to try a lot of things, but they really don't understand each platform or each thing that they're willing to invest into. And this is one of the biggest mistakes. A lot of the times they try to do too many things at the same time and don't really know what's working and what's not. Or they go after one big thing, they don't know what it does, they don't know how it works, how it operates, and then they have a false expectation of what's going to happen, and then they pull the plug, like I said, at the worst moment. If you're going to engage in a marketing campaign, in a strategy, it's important that whoever's signing off on it, paying for it, or giving you a green light, that they understand what you're doing. How long could it take? What are the risks? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? What are your threats? This goes back to basic marketing. If you understand your SWOT and you understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, how long it could take, what it entails, who you need to hire, how much you need to spend, then you could clearly vocalize that with timelines and actually have realistic expectations. Many marketers like to skip this part and they say yes to everything. And then when they're met with, hey, what kind of results do we have? How much money are we spending versus how much are we making? They don't know what to answer. And this is where you need to slow down. You need to stop everyone and actually let them know, hey guys, we have a lot going on, or we have very little going on, so we're not really going to see the results that we're expecting. Or we have a lot going on and we're actually overworked, overbooked, and we need to look at things a little bit differently. All right, now let's talk about paid ads when it comes to restaurants. What are paid ads good for? They're good for immediate visibility, filling slow nights, promoting openings, events, or specials, or even testing offers quickly. Here's how a restaurant marketing timeline works when it comes to running paid ads. Week 1 to 2, you're collecting data and testing. Week 3 to 4, you start optimizing based on the data that you're observing. Depending on what marketer is running your campaigns, by month 2, you should be able to have stable performance if your offer and your tracking are properly set. Key note, ads won't fix bad positioning, bad menus, or bad service. You could run all the ads you want. And we talked about this in an episode of my Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast with Chef Adrienne Calvo. She talks about how you could run ads till the cows come home, but if you have bad service, if you have bad food, people won't come back, and you'll be spending a bunch of money for people to come in. They'll come in, they'll never come back, and you'll never really truly see the profits. If you want to see more about that interview, check it out right here. Now, let's talk about what ads don't do. They don't tend to build the long-term equity. The second you stop the ads, the traffic stops coming in. Also good to understand that ads don't replace a bad reputation or bad reviews. They could actually amplify it. When you're running ads, you're renting attention. You're not actually owning it. So you want to be able to pair your advertising campaigns with organic campaigns as well to be able to have both sides of the coin. Now let's talk about SEO and organic visibility. What does SEO actually do for restaurants? They give you visibility in near me searches. They give you a Google Maps presence. It gives you near me search visibility, like Mediterranean food near me, tacos near me. It gives you presence on the actual map packs. It gives you long-term reservation flow, and it actually helps you build trust before the first visit. When it comes to SEO, it's very important that you understand the timelines related to it. SEO is not the same as paid ads. Paid ads tends to be more instant gratification. SEO is a slower beast. Month 1 to 2 of SEO, you're doing setup, you're doing fixes, you're doing content, and you're optimizing your listings. Month 3 to 4, your impressions start to increase locally. Month 4 to 6, rankings start to stabilize. And any month after month 6, you start getting consistent organic reservations, more phone calls, and more requests for every area of your business. That's if, of course, you have a person correctly doing your SEO strategy. The truth is that SEO is slow at first and then gets really unfair later when it comes to your competition, because if you're doing a good job, you'll completely smoke them. This is why SEO right now matters more than ever. Guests tend to search before they decide, and if they find you, they're more likely to trust you. Reviews influence choices almost instantly, and Google recommends what it understands. If your profiles are optimized correctly, if your website is optimized correctly, they're more likely to rank you and put you in front of the right people. So if Google doesn't understand your restaurant, it's not likely to recommend it. When restaurant owners hear about SEO, they tend to think that it's one thing, but it's actually not. There's multiple types of SEO, and they work together. First, you have website SEO, which is your foundational SEO. Here's what website SEO does. It helps Google understand what your restaurant is. It ranks menu pages, location pages, and event pages, and it helps support branded searches. Now, what actually matters about SEO? Page speed, mobile performance, clean site structure, location-specific pages, menu text that Google could actually read, not a PDF or an image put on the page, actual text. It's very important and people overlook that. A good SEO setup could take 30 to 60 days depending on how big your website is, and you'll start seeing results within months 6 to month 8. Remember that your website is your home base and everything points back to it, so you want to have it tip-top shape and following Google best practices. The next part of SEO is Google Business SEO, making sure your local listings are properly optimized. Let's break it down. What Google Business SEO does: it shows you in maps, it powers near-me searches, and it influences last-minute dining decisions. So, what matters most when it comes to Google Business SEO? Correct categories, consistent hours, photos and videos, reviews and replies, and weekly posts and updates. Now, timelines when it comes to Google Business tend to be quicker than actual website SEO. It could take a couple of weeks if you did a good job, if you know exactly what you're doing. For restaurants, Google Business SEO can sometimes even matter more than the website because it could drive actual foot traffic, phone calls, and visibility that you otherwise wouldn't have on your website if you didn't have this type of profile. Next, let's talk about image SEO. And yes, your photos actually rank. The photos that you're posting on your social media, on your website, need to be named properly, have the proper alt descriptions, have everything set correctly so when people in your area, for example, look up best tacos in Miami, your image might come up on image search. Remember that right now we have AI search, regular search, image search, YouTube search. All of these different searches bring people to a search result, whether it's the map, whether it's everything else that I just mentioned. And if you have everything properly optimized, you will be bringing in traffic from all of these locations, and that's the actual idea. You want to be able to dominate the entire search spectrum. So what does image SEO do? It helps photos appear in Google search results, it strengthens Google business visibility, and it improves click-through rates. So why does that all matter? Because you're actually using real photos, not stock images. You're having the proper file names saved for the photo. You're maybe even geotagging the photo. You're doing consistent uploads, and you're able to share visuals of your menu, of your interior and exterior of your restaurant. One pro tip is that Google actually reads images and the text on them, and most restaurants completely overlook it. Now you won't. Now let's talk about long-form discovery. And yes, we're talking about YouTube SEO. Here's what YouTube SEO does. It ranks videos in YouTube and Google. It builds authority and trust, and it supports long decision cycles. It helps people understand what you do when it comes to events, private dining, or even your brand story. Here's what matters a lot when it comes to YouTube. Your videos will be able to have searchable titles, clear descriptions, chapters and structure, and consistent posting. Many people on YouTube are looking up best tacos near me, best Mediterranean restaurant Miami, best Indian food Miami. All of these things matter when you have content on each platform directly set for people to be able to search it based on a keyword, whether it's Instagram, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube. Right now we're talking about YouTube, but it matters for every single platform. When it comes to timelines, YouTube is slower than short form, slower than ads, but it's still important. You may be able to put up a YouTube video called Best Miami Mexican Restaurant, for example. I live in Miami, so I keep using Miami. Best Miami Mexican Restaurant. You have all the keywords in there. You talk about why you're the best, all the awards you've won, your menus, your happy hour, etc., and you put it out there into the ether. It might not bring you 50 reservations right now, but somebody looking up Best Restaurant Miami might see that YouTube video, okay? Then might be able to jump to your Google business profile and book a reservation right on the business profile. What you're doing is making it easy for people to find you on other platforms by having the right keywords related to your business. These platforms, in turn, potentially help another platform get the booking done by giving them the information they need to make the decision that they want. Pro tip, YouTube is SEO with a face and a voice. Next, let's talk about Instagram SEO. I just lightly touched on it, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Let's break down Meta. Here's what Instagram SEO actually is. On Instagram, searchable captions, names, location tags are all important when it comes to people finding your restaurant. If you have keywords in your bio and in your name and you have consistent posting, you're likely to come up on search listings. For example, let's go back to Miami Mediterranean Restaurant. Let's say you own a Mediterranean restaurant in Miami. The name of the Mediterranean restaurant is Meze, for example, and it just says Meze on your name. But if on Instagram you change it to Meze Miami Mediterranean Restaurant and also put it potentially in the bio, and it's also mentioned in your caption and in your videos, when people look up that search term locally, you're likely to pop up, you're likely to populate. If you're creating solid content, if you're using influencers, if you're using PR, all pointing to your Instagram profile or any other profile, you're likely to pop up when people look up reels, photos, or any type of post related to the type of food that you sell. So don't overlook this. So why does Instagram SEO matter? People search restaurants inside Instagram. They actually do. And posts show up in the Explore and in the search tabs. This also supports influencer and UGC visibility. Now, when it comes to timelines, there's no specific timeline for this. This is just one of those things that you really want to set in place and continue to update as you go. Very similar to what I was mentioning when it comes to YouTube. It's not SEO for your website. It's not SEO for your Google business. It's SEO for your social medias. It's also not paid ads, which have more of an instant gratification style result. It's more of a long-term thing that you set in place, you set it right, and reap the results later. Remember that Instagram isn't just a social media platform anymore. It is a search engine. So is TikTok. With that being said, let's dive right into TikTok. Here's what TikTok SEO does. It ranks videos for search terms and it services content to new diners. And TikTok could actually influence where people eat that same day. They might see your restaurant on TikTok, go for lunch, go for dinner, or even go for delivery. So what matters when it comes to TikTok? You want to have spoken keywords in your video, text on screen, captions that have intent, and consistent short form posting. TikTok tends to be one of the fastest SEO channels. I'm not saying it's going to fill your restaurant from one day to the next, but you might see a lot quicker results if you follow these best practices that I'm putting in front of you right now. So how does everything that I mentioned in this video fit together? Website SEO builds trust. Google Business SEO drives foot traffic and reservations. Image SEO increases clicks to your website, therefore increasing potential conversions down the road. YouTube SEO builds authority. And Instagram and TikTok create discovery. No single channel works on its own though. SEO works best when all these channels work together, sending signals at all times. So let's bring it back. So far in this video, we've talked about what timelines could look like for your restaurant marketing, whether it's paid ads, whether it's SEO, for your website, for Google Business, for TikTok, etc., for you to really have an understanding of how long it's going to take you for these things to actually work. Could it be less? Could it be more? Of course. But it all depends on the marketer that you're working with or how much you yourself know if you're implementing these things. If you have any further questions, don't forget that I have a book coming out called How to Market Restaurants Online. You'll be able to find it on Amazon in a few weeks. You could also drop questions in the comments, on my social medias, or you could join my paid groups, my paid channels, my offers to be able to get to where you want to be a lot faster and save yourself the trouble and the headache of having to understand all of these things. If you have any questions, if there's any other topics that you would like me to talk about, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to get them done, and I'll see you in the next video.